Hello everyone, what's up? This is Omar. Welcome to the new channel. It's called Crimes and Law. I still do the political aspect of my YouTube, but I just wanted to do this because this is something I really love. I watch when I'm alone, and I watch a lot of crime shows. I'm going to introduce you to police integration when they interview criminals and how they get them, and we're going to enjoy this. Today is part 2 of Nancy Propurpose. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She killed her husband. He was about 64 years old, and she's about 65. They've been married for 24 years. So she decided and started buying all these guns, these ghost guns, all these guns to kill him. And she started buying these ridiculous life insurance that he won't be able to collect until he's 90 years old. The problem is this guy was working 2 jobs to support her while she stayed home. She pretended to be this romance writer. She had these books that nobody buys. Wrong Seal, Wrong Brother, Wrong Husband, Wrong This. She forgot to write the last chapter of her trilogy. Wrong Wife. She was the wrong wife for this guy. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's enjoy it. I know. Come on, guys. Support this channel. It's something different from the crazies and the politics of the day. Look at how the prosecutors get there. Just listen to. Let's go over it. Ready? Let's go, guys.
February, right?
To one of them, yes.
The one where you're telling Darla about the fact that you bought this gun kit?
Yes.
And at that point, you had already bought State Exhibit 26, the full gun from the gun show, correct?
If I hadn't bought it, I was supposed to sign it. I'm not sure the exact date of the car ride in February.
In fact, you had not only bought this gun during that car ride, but you were actively bidding on the sliding barrel. Isn't that right?
Yes, probably.
She went to. She had bought one of those ghost guns, but she couldn't put it together. So she went to a show and bought a Glock 17. The fucking lady, she was so planning ahead of time. She was bidding on eBay on a sidebar. You know, like when you shoot, the gun marks the bullet. So what she did is when she shot her husband, she took the sidebar and threw it away and put the original one as if this gun was never fired. The problem is she has digital fingerprints. Whatever you do on Google, everything, the police will eventually get it. So she was bidding on eBay. Imagine how dumb she is. She's trying to kill her husband, and she's bidding on a sidebar so she can kill her husband. And eventually, it doesn't turn out too good for her. Let's listen.
If it was after the 15th of February that we did this.
And we'll get to the sliding barrel in a minute, but your testimony and what your defense has asserted in their opening statement was that you bought that sliding barrel, right?
That's true.
But you didn't tell your friends about the sliding barrel.
No.
I was more on the story than I was on the gun kit.
She's always going to say the word story, like she's writing a story. There is no story. Everything, when she gets stuck on something, it's all about the story she was writing. Everything is about that fucking story that she's not writing. Go ahead, idiot.
You would agree that you never told law enforcement that you owned this ghost gun kit?
No, because this ghost gun kit, despite the fact you refer to it as a weapon on a regular basis, it's not a weapon unless I hit somebody over the head with a case. There's nothing about that gun kit that's a gun. Except that if you spend a few hours and put it together, it could be a gun. But I've got eggs and flour in my pantry. That's not an omelet either until you put it together.
And you would agree that you also never told the police about the sliding barrel that you purchased on eBay?
Mr. Overstreet, when I talked to the police in June, they asked me specific questions. My husband had just died. The fact that I was coherent at all is a miracle.
Coherent,
oh,
fuck
They never came back to me after that for a follow-up interview. I thought was shocking. You know, I thought this was on the police. This wasn't on me. The police said, we're handling this. You just go.
This is an explanation for that, telling them that she had a sidebar, an extra sidebar to her gun. It's the police job to do. But she showed him the ghost gun when she bought it, when she had it in the house. This is a terrible criminal here. She's a writer. She took all the precautions that you could take to kill another human being. Her husband, how could you kill somebody that you lived all your life with just for insurance? This is what I can't get in my mind. Second of all, I told you that she went in the van while he was showering. She went out ahead of him. She was driving around. The cameras were picking up her van. Not realizing that she didn't see no cameras outside, but there were cameras indoors that had their cameras outdoor to the glass, and they were showing her van running all over the place. And eventually, that's what got her. And she goes, "Oh, I don't remember anything. You know, for an hour, I don't remember. I was just driving around, and every time you get out, I was writing a story. It's a fucking story. I don't know what that story is. Let's get back to this idiot."
You know, you go home and take it one day at a time.
Yeah, right.
You know. And they never contacted me again, except for the things that they asked me for, which was Dan's schedule. I got that to them, and I was having trouble with their email, but I did what I was asked to do.
All right, good girl.
Answer my question.
See?
Perhaps not. What was your question?
That was a lengthy answer for not remembering my question.
Well, I go off on tangents.
So I asked you, is it true that you did not tell the police about the sliding barrel?
It is true. I did not tell the police about the sliding barrel.
The sliding barrel that would fit perfectly on the gun show gun that you purchased.
The sliding barrel that I was using for research for my writing,
See?
I did not
She's threw the word research in there.
tell them about that.
You can answer that question?
I did. I said I did not tell them.
Why?
Would you agree that it fit on the gun that you bought from the gun?
It was the same thing. It could have been interchanged, yes.
So although you own, well, we'll get to that in a second. When exactly did you put the ghost gun in storage?
Somewhere between June 2nd and September 5th when I was arrested. I have no idea.
How big was your property?
We had half an acre.
You're sure of that?
I'm positive.
Yeah, she's fucking.
Testimony, as you might remember.
Yes, but it was testimony from a woman who lived in an apartment who thought any bound lawn was going to be huge. You
So
know.
you had a half an acre.
Yes.
And it's true that that lot behind your house was not 5 acres, right? It was actually just about an acre.
It could have been slightly larger. I think I've seen the plot, and there was something like 1.3, but that's been a long time ago, and I could be wrong.
Talk about the interview with the police and how that was, you just found out your husband died, and it's very hard to remember everything that you talked about in there. You do recall that you didn't have any trouble telling them about the firearm that you had purchased at the gun show, correct? In fact, you told them the whole story about why and how you purchased the gun.
Detective Merrill said, "Does Dan have any guns?" Dan owns half a block. I told him about full block. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, although I was listening to that sentence, it came out snotty, which wasn't really what I wanted to come out. But what I will tell you is he asked me, I answered him the best way I knew how.
Why didn't you just say, yes, we have a gun?
I was trying to be helpful to the police at this point so they would know what was going on.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, at this point, I thought they were going to find my husband's killer. I didn't think they were going to.
Yeah, you're the killer. What are they gonna find? You're the killer.
Instead of just answering, yes, we have a gun, and it's at home, you actually made sure to give them the full story as to how and why you purchased it.
Mr. Overstreet, you are having trouble keeping me quiet now because I tell stories as I'm talking to you. Do you think I was less than that with the police when I'm upset? This is how I talk. I tell full stories to illustrate what I'm saying.
Yeah, stop shaking your hand.
Well, apparently it didn't make me quieter, it just made me more upset.
And you paid cash for that gun?
Yes, we did.
Your attorney made a big deal out of you.
Now watch, she wants to involve her husband. Her husband never knew she bought the gun. Oh, Dan, he gave me $400 and I paid for the rest. Actually, when you look at the background, when she bought the gun at the gun show, they have to look for her background. She got only her ID, only her name. Dan was not in there in any way possible. But she's always involving Dan in certain things that are lies. They know she killed the person, but I love when I see a prosecutor dismantle a person slowly. This guy's a little slow. He's not that exciting. I'll have a nice trial for you in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, after tomorrow. It's fucking crazy. It happened 10 years ago. The fucking prosecutor was fucking nuts. It's like, man, you're going to love it. Let's just listen to Nancy here. Nancy! Oh, Nancy. Nancy. She killed her husband at 64 years old. She wanted to live the good life, but she never knew that the police will know she's a fucking fool. What the fuck am I singing?
You purchased these things with your debit card or credit card.
Right?
Why would you pay cash at the gun show?
Well,
See?
actually, that was Dan's idea. And,
It's Dan's idea to buy cash.
what have you. He said, here's $400 in cash. You get cash for things. So I went on Dan's idea on that.
Did you actually throw $400?
I was given $400, but it was, he gave me $400 in addition, and he gave me cash.
I don't know that I quite understand it. Did you withdraw $400?
See what happened? She withdrew the money, her ATM card at the gun show, but she wants to involve Dan that he gave her $400 cash. Dan was never there. They know he's never there, and the jury know he was in there. They just, they entertain the idea. This is to punch hole in her fucking story. You have to listen to the prosecutor. The prosecutor sometimes they ask them questions, but they are questions that need to be asked, and they are trying to catch her in little things. Because if you are at the jury, if she lies one time or she gets caught a couple times in a small lie, then her credibility is gone in front of the jury. She could say anything she wants. She could bring the Bible and swear unless it's gone. This is what the prosecutors do.
After he gave me the first 400
How did he give you 400?
in cash.
Where did that come from?
Dan has cash in his house. Dan owns and operates a cash business.
He sells eggs.
He sells eggs. He sells crack on the cart. He sells, he operates a lot of cash.
Okay.
No, he don't.
You talk about that too. So he gives you $400. You then go to On Point and withdraw $400. So you have $800 cash.
I do.
What did you do with the remaining $300?
Well, it wasn't remaining.
What did you do with the remaining $300?
As they were taking the gun apart and showing me how it worked, they sold me, but I didn't have a receipt on it, they sold me some oil that they thought I was going to need, and in addition, I had bought a book on Glocks in general. So, what did I do with the probably 200 plus, but not much plus? I don't know, maybe I gave it back then. I have no memory of what I did with it.
You didn't put it back in your bank account.
Maybe Dan and I went out to dinner.
Smart answer.
But I could have just as easily given it back to Dan.
Okay. Told detectives, and I believe you testified to this as well, that you got home with that gun and looked at it, thought it was heavy, ugly, some other maybe descriptive terms you used, I'm not quite sure right now. But you realized you and Dan both realized you didn't want it.
I think we were both ambivalent about it still. That this didn't really solve the problem, but I think we went back and forth for months before we bought it and for weeks after we bought it.
Okay, so you didn't decide you didn't want it that day.
That's right.
Got home, did you handle it?
Oh, sure. We both did.
What did you do to handle it?
See, he just caught on a lie. She told the police she never touched it. When they bought it, she looked at it, it was heavy and ugly and put it in a closet. That's a lie right there. See? It's a small lie, but she loses her credibility. When you fucking start lying about little shit. Have you ever had a friend when you like your best friend and he goes someplace and he starts telling a story about you and him and it's a lie? Did that ever happen to you? I hate that shit, man. And they involve you in the lie and they give you a play, they give you a role. It's like a play. Well, Omar was standing at that side and when I punched the kid in the face, Omar came and tried to start the fight and he was like, I was not even there. It's a lie. This is what happens. You don't say small lies. You had that friend. Everybody had that friend.
Well, we pulled it out and we looked at it. And, I mean, how would I have known it was heavy if I hadn't?
Yeah, see?
Somebody testified earlier that there were 2 little dark hairs that were in the slide. In our house, who had 2 little short dark hairs was not me.
Yeah.
That would have been Dan.
She got involved, Dan.
He handled it.
Did you see him handle it?
Yeah, it was right there.
What did he do?
He looked at it, he picked it up, he messed with it. He pointed it toward the backyard, so, even though it had no bullets in it. I don't recall, we had a great conversation.
Yeah, she's making it up as she goes, and he handled it.
Oh, sure, I played with it.
Ah!
Sure. Oh. I didn't think that was a secret.
She didn't tell the police that.
The police didn't ask me whether I would.
You see how you get stuck in a fucking, when you testify? Oh, she lied to the police that she never touched the gun, and she never touched the sidebar, took it out and in, so... and then now he got her to admit that she did. You understand? That's a lie. That's a big lie right there. So she's an idiot, man.
Move the sliding barrel.
You told the police that you got it home and that you realized how much you didn't want it and you put it away and never touched it again. Do you remember that?
I could have said that, but I was upset at the time, so that was probably an exaggeration. I handled the gun, you know. I may not have loved it, but I was still curious about it. And keep in mind, I'm writing a story about a gun, and I need to research guns so I could have it. But yes, I didn't, I touched the gun.
Yeah. And so your testimony today, after hearing all the testimony and seeing all the evidence on the screen, your testimony today is that you have removed that sliding barrel.
I have.
So you know how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, right?
Oh, it's terribly hard. I broke 2 nails doing it. Don't believe them when they say it's not that hard.
Yeah.
You can't just whip it off the way they do it. You have to hold the gun a certain way. You have to pull it back. I broke 2 nails pulling it back, and I thought, this isn't any fun. And you would be shocked at how hard it is to do.
You see what she's doing, right? Oh, I broke 2 nails, man. She was hard to do. So in other words, I couldn't have done it when I killed my husband, changed it. What happened to her right now is she's making the same mistake. She's lying and she's getting caught and get deeper in the hole. She should have let it go. Oh, no, I never touched it. She already told the police that, right? They don't know what it is because she threw it away or hid it someplace. They never found it. But, she started crime at 65. You can't start being a criminal at 65. You have to start early in your 20s and 30s and stuff like that. You understand? You have to do it the right way.
Yeah, if you haven't handled guns all your life, I'm sure it's a piece of cake, but I can tell you, for me, it was not.
So you removed the sliding barrel.
Yes?
You can see that it's nearly identical to the ghost gun sliding barrel.
No.
I'd have to look at both of them now, but I would say yes. Oh, yeah, we can look at it.
Yeah, we can look at that. She didn't know you had the gun there. Oh, I gotta speed it up a little bit, right? I don't know how it's gonna sound. Cause we're gonna be here all day. The audio is too low because he's not next to the microphone.
I would agree that they look identical, but they obviously are not. One of them is quite a bit longer than the other one,
Sure you know.
which makes them not identical. When you're circling little things on what define 5 things in this picture that aren't identical, you would circle that.
Yeah, so good.
Yes?
What else is not identical about this gun?
Well, one of them obviously has a zip tie on it, but they are similar, is what I would say. They are not identical.
Can you see the back?
Yes? I agree they're similar.
See the top?
I agree they're similar.
I'm not going to point this at you, but can you see the barrel?
I can.
Anything about this side that is not exactly the same?
I would ask you this, as you're demonstrating this, does it fit on the other gun? No. Does
No.
that make it not identical? Yes.
You know it didn't fit, right?
I knew it didn't fit because I knew that I had a book on Glock, and in order for a Glock to work, it had to work the right way.
You knew it didn't fit, and then you bought a sliding barrel that would fit it. Gun show gun, right?
No, I bought a sliding barrel that was the same one. I could have easily bought one that fit the ghost gun, but I did not. I bought this one.
Why would you buy another sliding barrel with the ghost gun that fit it? You already own it. You own this piece, right here. You own this.
Yes?
So why would you buy another one?
If the trigger had been available, I would have bought a trigger.
Yeah, all right.
I was fascinated with gun pieces at that point because I was writing a story.
The story is fucking old, rag.
Yes, and I would have bought another one if I had it. I figured if I could construct them together the way the character would have, it would have worked fine.
Ms. Brophy, you didn't buy other gun pieces. You bought a sliding barrel that would fit this gun.
That's true.
No other pieces did you buy.
No, but I wasn't finished shopping either.
Yeah.
You were worried
Stop looking at your lawyer. It's not gonna help you. You're fucked. When she does that, she's gonna run her lawyer.
sliding barrel because you were worried about taking this gun apart.
Yes.
Okay. But you just testified that you took the sliding barrel.
That's not taking the gun apart. We're talking about if you took the sliding barrel itself completely apart, could I put it back together and have a gun that wouldn't backfire on me and kill me? And so the fact that when I said to Dan, I can take this gun, the real gun, not the kit plate gun, apart, and it'll help me do this. Dan said, no, I've seen you in action.
No, 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 no. She said it. She told the police she never handled the gun. Now she's telling all these stories. She was trying to take it apart in front of Dan. Yeah, she was playing with it, and Dan said, "Listen, be careful there, lady. Don't just put it away. I know you. We might sell the gun in the future, so don't mess it up." Dan didn't know. He didn't know. Dan was a good American. He worked hard. He sold eggs. He sold anything he could to make a living to feed this monster who stayed home. You just gotta feed her money. They never had any money, man. Like I said yesterday, imagine at the age of 65, you don't have no fucking money saved up, and you still planning for retirement. People retire at 62. I retired already. You know, because I live on money.
That's a mistake. Let's keep it together. We may get to sell it.
I'm not talking about taking the entire gun apart.
Okay?
I'm talking about the slide barrel.
Yes.
It's a critical piece of information. As you know, if you didn't know before this trial, you know now the slide barrel is what is that issue, right?
Yes.
You keep talking about the gun, taking it apart, talking about the slide barrel.
Mm-hmm.
You have a gun, complete, slide barrel intact. You know how to remove it. In fact, you did.
Mm-hmm.
You can manipulate the slide barrel, separate and apart from the rest of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But you chose to buy the exact same piece. Is that right?
Yes, but I have a caveat on that too.
Of course.
What's the caveat? Good.
The caveat I had on that was, I wasn't thinking, hey, this would work that way. I was thinking, because for me, the gun was a gun, the toy was a toy, the pieces were the toy.
Not talking about the ghost gun, Ms. Brophy.
We're talking about the difference between the slide and the barrel.
I'm not talking about the ghost gun.
Okay.
I thought when you said caveat that you're going to explain to us why in the world, when you already own this exact piece, you would need to buy another one days later. Within days.
Because when she bought the gun, she thought the ghost gun slide barrel was going to fit in that gun. And then when she got it, she found out it doesn't fit, and she ended up having to buy another one, the slide barrel, from eBay. The whole idea was to get something to hide that the gun was used in the killing of her husband. That's it.
What I can tell you is, it was for writing. It was not to.
The story is about the story. What story?
What's the
Never-
difference?
Are you tapping the ghost gun or are you tapping the full gun? That isn't for writing because that is the story. Your Honor, at this point, if counsel's going to be aggressive, I would ask him.
Yeah, he's not aggressive. Shut up. He's going to be aggressive.
I'm going to allow him to hold the gun.
He did run a little bit.
The differences between this piece right here that I'm pointing to, the slide barrel that you removed yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that you bought on eBay.
You can't hear it. The mic is far away from his
We
mouth.
just went through that.
You're telling me you couldn't use this for writing.
No, that was the end piece. That was for protection. The other was for research.
La, 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 la. Hey, hey, you're gone. Goodbye.
At this point, you spent over $1,000 in guns and gun books. Is that right?
Mhm.
By the time you buy the eBay slide barrel, you're upwards around $1,500.
Money they don't have. Money they needed.
Your attorney seemed to indicate that you happened upon the eBay slide barrel.
Yes?
Just a pop-up ad.
No, it wasn't on the bed.
That's what she said.
Well, if that's what she said, then I probably said that to her one point or another, but it wasn't something that,
Another lie.
my barrel was a, like that?
She's got the lawyer. Help me, lawyer. Objection.
And
She's crazy.
I decided I wanted to do this. I'm going to be impulsive, and I bought it because I wanted it.
Objection, there, lawyer. Fucking liar, man. You're lying too much, honey. I'm getting hungry,
Where
man.
is it?
I have no idea. If you'd asked me on the day of my arrest, I would have told you that it was either in the house or it was either in storage.
No, you threw it away.
For months and months and months and months. So,
Months and months and months and months.
Bought it in February. Got it at the very last day of February, right? February 28th.
could be. I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking at my numbers, notes.
You didn't lose this gun.
No.
You didn't lose the gun kit.
The gun kit went to the police. The gun went to the police. I didn't have to worry about having that.
Ms. Brophy, I'm talking about the time of the murder.
Oh, all right. No, I knew where it was.
You knew where the ghost gun was?
It was on the floor of my closet,
You knew where that gun was?
yes. And I would tell you that the slide was on the floor of my closet next to the ghost gun.
Sitting on the floor?
Mhm.
Just like literally sitting on the floor?
Well, it wasn't in the middle, it was tucked next to, rather than behind, next to an armoire I had in the closet.
Okay. When's the last time you saw it?
That's what I was saying, I can't remember. I have no idea when the last time I saw it was. I know that I messed with it in February, I know I messed with it in March, but I can't remember seeing it after that.
Why did you make an attempt to locate it and mark it for the police, like you did the ghost gun?
I stumbled across the ghost gun when I was packing. That's why I marked the box. In my mind, I had a list of things I thought the police might come back.
Jeez.
For, and I thought the ghost gun would be among them.
Do you see the irony in not being able to locate that and that being an allegation that that was a murder weapon?
You know, I see nothing ironic about this case.
But-
I see nothing
Coffee. Dad, drink some coffee. Coffee.
Did you search your storage unit,
I am?
your pods,
Yes?
your house?
Yes?
You're aware that they even opened up your appliance inside your house to search for?
I was
guns?
not aware of that.
Okay. You would agree that you previously written about hiding weapons in
Another hand. No, coffee.
one of your books?
Maybe, but I don't remember that.
I'm hungry, man.
Did they even open up a wall to search for a gun?
Yes, they did it after the house went into, 8 months, after they got the search warrant, they went back for the search warrant just before it closed.
So they did all that searching,
Mm-hmm,
got the ghost gun,
mm-hmm,
couldn't find the slide barrel when you did it.
mm-hmm.
But you stored a lot of stuff in your niece's basement, didn't you?
I did. But the stuff I stored in my niece's basement happened after, the police were finished with the house. That was everything that was at the end. So the police either looked at it or they hadn't.
You didn't store anything anywhere else before your arrest?
No.
Sorry.
And you're sure that nothing went to your niece's house?
I'm positive nothing went to my niece's house. Until after, wait, let me back up just a minute, because there's a fact here. Susan had left some clothes. For a while, they had, been at Sarah's house before Dan died. And I'm gonna say maybe as long as a year before Dan died, I went and got all the boxes that Susan had left and put them in our storage building. So that when Susan came, I was able to give those to her sister and she took them home. So I have had things stored at Sarah's house in the past.
You know, like you just said, the police was very interested in the slide barrel from eBay, right?
I know that from the testimony and from the hearings we had.
You have the discovery.
I have the discovery. Here, I have another.
Okay, let's have the jury step out for just one moment.
Okay, let me speed this up. It's not important.
I need to, yeah.
What you've said on the stand that you sort of hated guns, you didn't like guns, and you became interested in them for writing and for safety, and then you seem to take quite an interest after that in guns. Is that safe to say?
I would say the irony is that we bought guns to protect us, and it didn't protect us.
I'm just asking about your interest in guns.
My interest in guns was twofold. One is protection, which it didn't work, and second is sobriety.
So protection didn't work. Shoot, kill him on his work, but he's working.
I was obsessed with the writing and the gun pieces. not-
Right in the story,
I
man.
wasn't investigating.
She had to write that story, you know.
Just a handgun that would protect my character.
And you did a lot of research online?
Not yet. I started it.
So didn't you just testify, like,
That I started researching, that I research online all the time, but I wasn't finished researching by any stretch of the imagination.
you'd been to a gun show,
Yes?
bought a gun? When did you go to the gun range?
I never been to it.
Ooh, sorry.
Never been to a gun range. So you're doing this research, you're getting ready to do this writing, you have all these people around you that know about guns, and own guns, and have maybe even done some research themselves for their own books. And why didn't you ever talk to Nathaniel about guns?
I have talked to Nathaniel about guns. There was a point I was writing a story early on, and I told him I needed a gun. a type of gun that I could have my hero use, and he gave me the name and explained why.
When was that?
Well, you know, it was probably 2010.
Eating cheese.
So in 2018, 2017, 2018, you had known for years that Daniel had knowledge about guns.
Yes, but, sorry,
You talked to Dan's brothers about guns?
that they owned them, or at least Bill owned them.
And did you talk to Tanya Medlin and her husband about guns?
Apparently Dan talked to him more than I did, but yeah.
And Terry Reed?
No, I don't think Terry Reed and I discussed guns at all.
What about your other writer friends, including Jesse Smith?
Jesse Smith, Sue Lute. I probably talked briefly to Linda Smith, but I knew how she felt. And Linda Smith does not write that kind of story anyway.
Why didn't you talk to Matt Gitchell about guns?
Well, I didn't know that he was an authority.
Why not follow up with Tony Hall, who you knew was an authority?
Tony Hall was really damn good. I mean, I knew him, but I never ran into him.
Why didn't you do any research at the gun show or go to a gun store and talk to them?
Because I wasn't ready to write the story yet. That would have come.
In fact, the company that you bought the gun through, J&B Firearms, that's actually a gun store that's very close to your house.
It turned out to be, yeah.
They had recommended that you go to Threat Dynamics or that gun range that we've seen a couple of times. You never went to Threat Dynamics?
Never.
You've never gone to the Tri-County Gun Club?
Is that the one that we keep talking about out on 26?
No.
Oh, well, no, I've never been there.
Coffee.
Where were you going on the 26th when you were out near that gun range?
Oh, on the 2 random days in March that we've been talking about off and on?
Okay, let me give some background. He's asking if you went to a gun range to learn how to shoot this gun. If you bought a gun for protection, you would go to a gun range and test it out and, see how it is and how it will shoot. But on 2 days, she drove like a lot farther away from the gun range. There's a place where it is deserted. There's no area. And the police knew what she was doing. She went there. She surveilled the place to see there's nobody in there. Then the next day she came again, and she probably shot the gun a couple of times to try it out. She says she was buying property there. The whole problem is that's state property. It's like parks and stuff like that. It's not for sale. And they don't have the money to buy property to build the house. Their house is worth about $450,000. They still own $200,000. So even if they did all that, they can't build anything. They can't even buy another house. If they buy another house, it's just another mortgage. So it shows you how she goes to lie and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Is that what you're asking me about now?
Yes.
Okay. Dan and I have decided that that was an area we wanted to look at. I'm driving around frequently out there trying to look to see if there's any property.
For 2 minutes. 2 minutes she was there.
Anything that is all the requirements Dan has. The land has to be flat for gardening. The land has to be fairly treeless so that we don't have just the shadow hanging over it. I know what he requires, and I know what I need in the house.
Is that state land out there?
It is after fashion, and that's why I didn't go all the way out to where you're saying it was. I went out after fashion and came back.
You just drove out there randomly, were there less than a couple of minutes, and then headed back to Portland?
No, I didn't do any of the, wait, let's stop. Ask your question to me again, let me see.
On 26th, the first day, I believe it was
Okay.
Monday.
Right,
While Dan was at work,
right,
you drove out to that area,
right.
and according to cell site location information, it appears you drove out there, turned around, and drove back.
I don't think I drove that far out there. I mean, I know that it's out there. I know because we talked about it, but I have never, ever.
You know how they know those phones? These phones, man. You can't hide shit no more. Everywhere you go, you leave in a digital handprint or footprint, whatever you want to call it. Everywhere you go. So they knew by her phone that she only stayed there for 2 minutes. Then she went the next day and stayed a couple minutes and left. If you're looking for a property, first of all, that's a state property. That's not a real property. Second of all, they never said they were going to buy a property. They needed another house. Remember in the beginning, yesterday, she said they were looking for a small house because they have 4 bedrooms. They needed something smaller. Second of all, you're lying when you go there for 2 minutes and leave. You don't, when I go out and look for something, just ride around, I say more than 2 minutes. You understand? Oh, sorry.
Ever been there. And if I would have been going there, I would have gone there with Dan, and I would have gone there with we ended up, the closest I got to it, we had, what, 2 minutes, 10 minutes that I could have spent there?
Yeah.
I didn't think if I was just going out to fire a gun in the dirt, that I could have found someplace a whole lot closer to my house and driving an hour and a half.
Not really.
Who,
Not really.
you knew about that gun range?
I heard about the gun range from the JV people.
In fact, that's your handwriting, right? On
I don't know,
the
I didn't do that, no, ages.
receipt? So you knew it was there?
And I'm not sure that is my handwriting, I'm thinking about it. I think they wrote it down. But I can look at the note again and tell you,
Let's not get lost in the weeds here.
okay?
You know about the gun range?
I knew about the gun range.
Your car just happens to be out in that area on the 26th, I'm sorry, your phone happens to be out in that area on the 26th.
And what I can tell you is, Delilah Marvell's property is west of Banks. Vernonia is northwest. The area Dan wanted to look in is this area, and I was looking.
This is all a pony show for the jury, but the hand movement, all that shit, it's all lies. For 2 minutes, what the fuck you was doing there for 2 minutes? What you was doing there for just 2 minutes? 2 minutes.
And I can tell you, we've been looking for a while. You'll see if you went back and looked at my locations of the kiosks. I frequently was in that area looking, once again, property, what we were. You know, I'm all over town. Now, to be perfectly honest, I don't remember doing any of this, but I'm sure I did it. And since you brought it up so often, I seriously thought about it. But all I can tell you is, it wasn't a day where I thought, whoa, this will be new and different. This was just a day. And I'm assuming the reason I'm driving around out there in that area is because of the property. This is not a situation where I have a clear memory of it. This is a situation where if I was out there on 2 random days in March, then what was happening was I was probably looking for property. And that is my best guess.
Did you have lunch with someone that day?
I could have, I don't remember.
In Portland?
I have no idea. I mean, let's go back, let's look at the records. I can probably reconstruct, but where does it say I had lunch?
Didn't you go to Nicholas's Restaurant in Northeast Portland on Broadway on the 26th?
Okay, I could have.
Does that sound familiar?
I go there frequently. I have a friend who really likes to go there, and we frequently meet and talk about writing there.
And who were you meeting there?
Oh, well, it's somebody who hasn't testified. It's a woman named Marilyn Hill. Marilyn Hull, Hull.
So on the 26th, you get up, you Google how to load a Glock 9mm.
Uh-huh.
You drive out to an area that.
Wait, I don't know that I Googled that.
Yeah, you did.
I'd like to see that. But I could have. I mean,
She Googled how to load the gun, and she drove there. So you know how they put 1 + 1 is 2. So everything she's doing, she thinks that we living in a time when you could do shit. You can't do shit like that on Google and just walk away. If you want something private, guys, you got to go on something called, I think it's Go Duck or Duck Go, something like that. That you could erase all your data right away every time you use it. The idiot here just was to Google how to load the gun and then drive to a deserted area and come back. It's obvious what you was doing. Obvious, very obvious.
once again, I am messing with gun pieces, you
Yeah,
know.
sure you
I'm
are.
not messing with research. I'm not messing with, so I could have put that in that morning if I had some spare time, because I don't think I gave up the gun research until the beginning of April, when I knew I had to get back and finish my other story. Part of the problem is if you don't finish the story you're on, then you have story pieces everywhere. And, you know, people say, what's the most difficult thing about writing a book? It's finishing the book.
Oh.
You have to force yourself to finish it. When you've written yourself into a hole, it's real easy to see a new idea.
All right, thanks for the advice. We want to know what the hell you're doing.
Force yourself. So yeah, I had a few months where I flirted with guns. But real frankly, my goal was to finish the book I was on.
What was the name of the book?
March, you are doing research at that one.
I could be, yes.
And can we go and put up State's Exhibit 82?
Sure.
He was watching YouTube videos.
Go there to March 26th, 10:13 a.m. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Searching, loading a 9mm Glock.
Okay.
Immediately after that, searching, cleaning the Glock.
Okay.
And then you get in your car,
Okay.
Right?
drive out to an area that has now been established as where that Wolf Creek gun range is.
Right.
I'm gonna put this back on. Okay, but if I can guarantee you that I wouldn't have gone that far, and the reason why is because it's all forested land, and it's higher elevation than what Dan wanted. But I'm not gonna tell you I wasn't out there, because I probably was. You know, you got video that shows my phone video.
Then you're out there for no time at all, basically turn around and drive straight back into Northeast Portland for lunch.
That could be. It could be that, that could have happened. I drive a lot for my job. I also drive a lot for meditation, for work, for writing.
What does that have to do with overtime?
You're saying you drove around 2 random days in March. I'm saying my best guess is I was looking for property. But my best guess could have been I was still filling the plot hole too. Are you following me? Then I don't know what I was doing. I'm giving you what I regard as great possibilities of what I was doing.
Great. So you have a nice lunch, go home. The next morning, you get up and do the same thing.
Okay,
Dan's at work again.
okay,
You drive out to the same area, exact same. But you're there for long. Do you recall that?
I recall the testimony that I heard.
I'm asking if you recall.
No, I know, these are 2 random, I drive all the time. I don't think about this. I drive when I'm thinking about the story. I drive when I'm working. I work all over this whole area.
She doesn't work.
Call 2 random days.
She sells fucking Medicaid insurance.
I can tell you for sure, I never went to the gun range.
Would it surprise you that that's the only 2 times that your phone, as far back as the phone records go, that we have? When you head out that way, then it's the only time you don't go all the way to the coast?
No, that can't possibly be true. And the reason why that can't possibly be true is because I have a lot of clients in Vernonia. And I would have gone out to see them, if nothing else, during Medicare season. You know, I have clients, I drive all over. I love Vernonia. I think it is a charming little town.
Yeah, right.
But that does not mean that that could possibly have been the only times I was out there that I didn't go to the coast.
Do you agree on 26 and 27 you need to go to Vernon?
I don't remember going to Vernonia, but your record shows I didn't go to Vernonia.
She didn't go there. She went to shoot a fucking gun. She even shot out the gun. Everybody knows that. She went to fire the gun and to preclude before she goes shoot her husband.
Dan's routines.
Okay.
We've got a lot of testimony in this case. I think you'd agree that he held a pretty strict routine.
Yeah, creature of habit.
Whatever it was, whether it was what time he left for work or...
Depending on the day, he held a strict routine depending on what his schedule was for the day.
Easy to kill.
Decided within...
Never have a regular habit. Always change around.
That's absolutely true.
What time was that?
It was between 4 and 4:30.
That's when he would wake up?
Mhm.
Okay. I think you testified to, and I know you told the police that he walked the dogs, take care of the chickens, sometimes go get you coffee. That was pretty routine for him. Okay. Anything else?
He frequently, if he needed to do something like go to Wojamaya in the morning, he would do that. He did shopping for his class or for whatever he was doing, usually early in the morning. You know, he worked in the garden early in the morning.
It sounds like you two kind of did your own thing during the day. Like he would go to work, you had your things to do, like you would have go and meet clients, things like that. But you didn't work together.
That's not true. We frequently worked together.
How?
You worked at OCI?
No, but we worked together on different things. If he had a class outside of OCI, for example, I might take things down to him. I took things down to OCI for Dan 3 to 4 times a month because he would get to school and realize he'd left something. So we worked together in terms of...
That's not working. That's not working.
Am I being clear?
You're not making any money. Work is to make money. She looking at a lawyer. Look at her. See how she looking at a lawyer?
Yes.
What a fucking
In
idiot.
general, he knew where you were.
In general, he would know where I was.
You guys would communicate, I'm going to work, or I'm going home, or whatever.
Yes, or, you know, I told a policy, or the dogs are having an issue, or whatever.
The dogs are fighting. Dan, come home. The dogs are fighting again, Dan.
And in general, I know it depends on what kind of stuff is happening at OCI, on the weekends, did Dan generally leave around the same time?
Yep. Yes, that's when she killed him in the weekend. Yes.
Did Dan leave around the same time every day? No, it would depend on what his schedule was. You know, if he was working weekends, he left at a different time. If he was working days, he worked at a different time. If he was going...
He asked you about the weekend, not the daytime.
The question is, on the weekends,
All right.
when going to OCI,
Right?
did he generally leave at the same time?
I would say within a 30-minute window, yeah.
And on June 2nd, did you expect for him to leave earlier that day because of the live fire?
It wouldn't have surprised me for him to, but Dan was always prepared. Dan took me in a Boy Scout in the heart.
Yeah.
He was always prepared.
And I killed him.
Party where somebody cut themselves.
I like it.
Who had a medical kit? Dan.
I killed him for the insurance money.
So he could have left earlier. He could have been well enough prepared that he didn't need
You think she has a girlfriend in jail right now?
For that live fire, he actually took 2 carts down.
Scissor with a scissor?
That wasn't in preparation for the live fire. He took
Oh, just, okay,
he took 2 carts down because he does that every weekend.
gotcha. He does that every Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Most, well, I hate to commit to every Friday. He does it every weekend, but the days he chooses to do it are his days.
You got the lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. She's not going to rescue you. You got the dumbest lawyer. She should object once in a while.
You know.
Yep, look at the lawyer.
Parks on 17th in front of the Culinary Institute.
No, I think he parks there a fair amount, but he also parks on Madison. He rarely uses the lot because he's one of the lucky people who have a parking sticker.
He can park on the street.
Yeah, and he parks wherever he parks. I mean, I don't think he has assigned parking or even his idea of assigned parking.
Does it make sense to you, though, that when he is bringing things to the school, that he would park on 17th so that he could unload and load into the school?
That would make sense. But I would also say when he and the Starbucks across the street were doing 5-gallon buckets of coffee grounds, he parked on Jefferson so he could deal with that.
Okay. You stated that you knew that the doors would usually be locked at the school. Is that true?
The doors were always locked. As far as I know, I don't know of an incident where anything but the student door would have been open.
You see, when something like that happens, the police will lock you into a story the first hour of the incident or the second day. They will bring you into the police station. The whole idea not to catch you at that time. They want to lock you into a story, put it on record. Then later on, they could punch a hole in that story. That's what they did to her. They let her blabber her mouth. She can't shut up about being home, doing her story, writing. She didn't know what's going on with her husband. And they called her about 10 o'clock and that he's been killed. And all this fucking facade. So once they locked her into that fucking story, then it was easy to catch her. If she had said, I got up, I went to coffee, and I drove around in the morning, to get something off my head because I'm writing the story, whatever the fucking story is. If they had looked at the video, they say, oh, well, she did say she left in the morning, she was driving around, so she was telling the truth. But when you explicitly lie to the police and tell you were never out at all, that you were home during the murder of your husband, then later on they see you driving around for a whole hour trying to find a place, waiting for Dan to come to kill him. Poor Dan, poor guy, she was waiting to kill him that day. She's been planning since December 24. People are celebrating Christmas and this fucking garbage here. She was buying the ghost gun, with the money she probably got for Christmas, or probably to conceal it, like I bought something, if they say what you did, like her husband, oh, where did you spend our money? Oh, I bought you some presents. You know what I'm saying? So everything is a facade. She's fake. She's phony. She's a fraud. You understand? If you are willing to kill your husband after 24 years of marriage. Now, Dad had a first wife and he divorced. He met her, he was about 44 years old. She was probably about 45. He's not looking to have children with her because she can't have children no more. He was looking to spend his life with her, the golden years. But he could never save any money because this piece of shit was always writing these dumb books that nobody buys and spending money on them. Always spend it and spend it and spend it. They had to borrow against their 401k. They're 65 years old and they're still planning for retirement at 70 and 90 years old. It doesn't make any sense. Even the insurance policy she was buying, they don't come into intuition. Like sometimes you could cash in your life insurance because you make a deal after 20 years. If he doesn't die, I could cash in my money. They say, oh, okay, good, because they borrowed your money. But at 90, what's going to guarantee that she and Dan are going to live until 90 years old? You understand what I'm saying? She's a phony, man. And I like to listen to this, and I want to get you into it. When you watch it, watch the whole thing, because you see what the prosecutor is doing. The prosecutor is not some fucking exciting guy. He talks like he's a little kid there. I mean, he's born. I mean, let's be honest. But he's dismantling her story. It's all about the little lies, Right now, it's not about getting a gotcha moment. No, because there is no gotcha moment. It's that you have in the beginning, like I said, the police had locked her into a story that fits her narrative. Now the police have to puncture holes. Either the police are not out to find you guilty. They try to find you innocent by seeing your timeline. Then they could rule you out and look for somebody else. That's what they do. People say, oh, they're just looking to put people in jail. Maybe. But every time they have a suspect, the whole thing is to find him innocent. Because if they find him innocent, they can move on to see who killed that person who did that crime. So when they saw that van moving around all morning like a crazy, that she was nuts. You know, she had some time to think about it. She had 1 hour driving around before Dan came, and she decided to fucking off the guy. Shoot him in the back, in the heart. There's a fucking sick old cunt over here. I don't know if you can say it on Twitch. I don't care.
But people could have gone in and out.
We'll talk about the school a little bit more in just a
Okay.
second. You sort of mentioned this, actually you did mention it, that Dan always had
What the hell? No one coming.
That just kind of the guy who like stealing cash, with his cards, credit cards.
He operated with cash until he needed a lot of ones because of the card. So he frequently would have.
Guy's selling eggs at 65 years old.
Money bundles of ones at home from
Dumb
either
motherfucker.
money he made off the card or whatever. He operated with cash more, but it was largely for the cards.
Right. And it's true that he often didn't even know how much money was in his own account, right?
Dan was more routine than that. I would say he didn't know how much was in his.
He didn't know.
Differently. I would say Dan had certain, the reason why we broke up our finances the way we did was because his expenses were much more routine.
He never spent any money.
Money based upon the fact his check was much more routine. than-
Right? Okay, and what you did?
Reach out to you to ask you if his check had been deposited, right?
Yes, he, occasionally he would call me and say, I need you to look at the bank account and tell me this or that.
Your Honor, I'm about to start a new subject.
All right, let's go ahead and take our morning break then and be back on the record at 10:45.
All right, I'll take a break. All right, let me move it here. Okay, I got one. Here you go. Break is over. Come here, you old witch.
At the house, and I would not go in. On the few occasions that I went in, I would come in as student interest because that was one was unlocked.
Now, you said that you visited the Culinary Institute a couple weeks prior to Dan's death.
Mm-hmm,
Also on a Saturday,
mm-hmm.
about 7:30 in the morning.
It could have been.
With cell site location information said that at 7:30, would you agree with that?
I probably would, yeah.
You said that day you were meeting a client and you decided to stop there to use the restroom.
Right?
You said that Dan,
That was a dry run.
Yes.
which door was that?
Dan would have let me in the staff entrance, which is down at the end of that strip.
At 17.
2 weeks before she killed him, she went like exactly at the same time, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know what happened. She got spooked probably by somebody there. If she saw people outside, and she said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, I gotta use the bathroom." Why would you come away from your house to use the bathroom where your husband worked? So at that day, she was probably planning to kill the fucking old man. Probably got spooked, or her nerves were not there yet, and she decided, "Oh, what are you doing here, honey?" "Well, I need to use the bathroom, if you don't mind." "All right, baby, you know what the bathroom is. Go ahead." Fucking witch.
Right.
To the side door.
Right?
And did you park on the street?
Yes,
And he let you in that door?
Yes.
Did you went to the restroom?
yes.
Which restrooms did you go to?
I have no idea.
Did you go to the ones in that main hallway, or did you have to go somewhere else?
Well, the restrooms are here
Right.
and here. So I went to one of them. I have no idea which restroom.
All right, shut up.
In the restroom, where did Dan go?
He did whatever he does, you know. He was doing what his routine was or whatever.
What did you see him doing when you were in there?
Well, I was in the restroom. I didn't see him doing anything.
Not wearing the restroom when you're in the building.
I came out of the restroom, he came out of one of the classrooms, he walked me to the door, and I left. There wasn't, we didn't have social hour, he was working, I was borrowing the bathroom, I had things to do, he had things to do.
What were the names of the other people that were there?
I didn't see anybody there, but that didn't mean people weren't there. I would have said Yadu was there, and I probably would have said the other instructor was there.
But you didn't see or hear anyone, did you?
Not that I recall.
And that was on May 17th?
I'm not sure.
If the cell site location information put you at the school at 7:30 on May
That phone gives you away, you idiot. No.
Sure.
Yes, it is.
And the reason why I'm not sure is, I'm just gonna say I'm not sure.
Okay. You agreed it was 2 to 3 weeks prior?
Something like that.
Okay. And you didn't go another time?
No.
So, being familiar with this building, you knew there were no cameras in the building, right?
You know, that just never came up in the conversation. I wouldn't have told you if there were cameras in the building or not.
You don't recall telling anybody that you knew there were no cameras in the building?
I may have said that because I may have known more 5 years ago than I know more now.
She knew there was no cameras there, she knew.
Okay,
There was no cameras there. You know it, you knew it. She knew it.
All this all these things that have happened. I can't really tell you, although I may have known it, whether there were cameras.
You know there's no cameras. Come on, Nancy, you knew it. If you knew, you would never went
What
there.
about outside the building? Did you see any cameras?
That she didn't know.
Once again, I wasn't looking.
Yeah, that you should. If you were looking, you would never got caught.
What was the NW prior to the property room? Did you see any cameras over there?
Not looking. I wasn't paying enough attention to
Yeah,
that.
the pizzeria had a camera.
That you came down to the work culinary institute?
Couldn't tell you.
When did you find out about Mark's death?
I can't tell you the exact time, but I can tell you the day. And it was, Mark died on June 22nd.
What were you doing when you got that call?
Who's Mark? What the fuck is Mark? Who's Mark?
It was Susan or Holly who called me. I talked to both of them, and I don't know who told me that. But Sarah, not Susan or Holly, Sarah or Holly, Sarah said, can I come over? And I said, sure. But whatever I was doing, it was probably wandering around in a bog anyway, so I have no idea what I was doing.
What?
So did you find out on a phone call or?
Is it better if I sit back a little?
Yeah, sit back.
Yes, I found out on a phone call.
What about Ed? What were you doing?
I think Cousin Janet was there when we found out about it.
Who's Mark?
I
don't know who Mark is, so.
both knew he was in bad health, but I think Cousin Janet may have gotten the text.
Cousin Janet.
Phone call or something from it, so we knew.
It's Cousin Janet. He's trying to act. It's my cousin Janet.
Around downtown at this point, right?
Yes.
Seen you still photographs from that,
Mm-hmm.
and you testified on direct that it looked like your van.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't quite say, you do agree that that is you at this point, right?
You know,
All right. Here's a big thing. She's been denying that her van on these cameras, and the problem is she has this big scratch on the side, and it showed up on the camera and her car at the same place. So it is her car, but she's denying and denying and denying. Even denied to her lawyer when she's in direct testimony, and now she's going to tell the truth. Watch. Sometime you get on that stand, and that's it. Watch.
no, I do.
Yes.
I do. But I would say that it took me a while to get to that stage.
See? It took her a while to get to the stage to admit that it was her car. See, I told you. Now she just admitted it right in front of the jury. That's how dumb she is.
But as you sit here today, you agree that it is you driving that van that morning?
Yes, but I also think that.
Caveat. Is that a caveat?
Only because of the date stamp can I tell on the things that I think it was that.
But she can't remember. Ooh.
You're not challenging. You're agreeing that that is you.
We have more things to challenge.
You see what's going on right now? He caught in a lie. He got her to admit that it was a van on that day driving around the town, whatever the fucking town is in Oregon. And she got caught. And this is the first time she admits that it was her and it's a van since they arrested her. So why would you deny it to the police? Deny it to your lawyer and confess it to the prosecutor? I don't understand that.
She shouldn't be driving around in this case.
You would agree that you're driving around in front of the corner institute
Yeah,
at the exact time of the damage.
she was casing the place.
I know, actually, I don't agree with that. I was driving around for a full hour before Dan got murdered. I was down there before Dan ever got.
Watch the
I
screws.
was driving around riding for a full hour. I was only in the vicinity for 6 minutes.
She was riding.
Dan was murdered in that 6 minutes. You know, we agree that he was murdered in that time frame, but in terms of when he arrived and shortly thereafter. But whether it's not that 6 minutes or not, I don't know.
I'm sorry, did you just say that you were driving around riding?
Yes, that's what I was doing.
She got up riding the story.
I did that yesterday, that I would find a place to park and I'd jot down ideas.
Yeah.
You didn't know that you were driving?
Yesterday, what I testified for was that when I was sitting in there, I.
Remember, she had amnesia. She doesn't remember what happened the 1 hour, 2 hours she was driving around. Now she remembers she was riding. You understand what's going on here? She's starting to unravel slowly, but without really knowing it. The idiot here is telling the truth. If you can't remember that you're driving around, how could you remember you were riding or jotting the story? You don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive around the town and the place where your husband works, and get caught on camera at that because you're taking notes for your story. For what? You get up to your coffee table, have some coffee, right down your kitchen.
I can remember being in the parking lot, writing.
Right?
Didn't I say that yesterday?
No, you didn't.
So let's go back.
Okay, let's go back.
Mrs. Brophy, don't ask questions. Mr. Overstreet, don't answer questions.
Sorry.
So, yesterday, you stated that you remembered a time being in that area. You were riding. There was a white van. There was a man going back and forth between the white van and some other location. You assumed that he was working on the van. It was distracting to you, and that you decided to leave. Do you remember that? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Your attorney then asked you if that was on June 2nd.
And I said I did not know.
Right. So if you do not know, you have no memory of driving around downtown on the morning of June 2nd.
Right.
You sit here today.
Right.
And I was driving around writing.
Because if I was down there, that's what I was doing. And you're right, I stand corrected that I should have answered the question differently and said I don't know.
Yep. You're right. I should have answered I already know. Because she lied and she lied again and she got caught lying. How can you remember writing but not remember driving around? You know, have you ever drove like from work to your house? Sometimes you have a blackout of how you got home, how you drove, because you do it a lot. But you remember getting in the car. You remember getting off the car. If something happened along the way, you remember seeing something that is interesting. But you're not going to drive around for an hour without really an amnesia completely? No way. No way.
I do know, based upon the timestamps, that I was down there an hour before Dan died. And that I was only down there for 6 minutes or less from the time that he signed into the building until you see me again leaving the area.
Right. That's 6 minutes. You just happened to be in front of the Culinary Institute during that time.
No, I wasn't.
Did you see the video where you can see your van turning off of 17th onto Jefferson at 7:28 a.m.?
I didn't see that, but that doesn't mean I was in front of the Culinary Institute. That means I wouldn't come up from another street.
No, you're right near there.
But you're not seen on any other cameras until that moment.
But as you all testify, if there's a trend, you can't see when people cross Madison. So I could have been, and what I actually think I was, if this is, having thought about it.
Shut up, put your hand down, you fucking idiot, you're lying. Put the hands,
So I
see.
can say, at 7:28, I definitely turned the van and was driving there.
That, because you know how they know she killed him? Because at 7:22, he turned off the alarm and went in. So between 7:22 and 7:28, until they saw a van, that was the moment he got killed. So she was there when he got killed. She was right there. You see how things work out? He gets in. It was always a digital print. He shut off the alarm. The alarm says at 7:22, the alarm was turned off. And at 7:28, they see her car zoom on by. And he got killed between that time. Why? Because the student came out to 7:28 and saw Dan on the floor dead. You understand how it works? That's how it works.
And we all saw it, but I had no idea, and I know I wasn't parked in front of the building, so what I would have been is riding someplace else and coming around. Now, I'm doing this based upon putting stuff back together, not based upon actual memory.
You said you know that you would have been parked in front of the building. How would you know?
Because I would have gone inside, because I would have said, "Hi, Dan, how are you?"
Yeah.
Because when Dan came out of the building, he would have said, "Hey, Nancy, how are you?"
Yeah, if
You
he
know?
did, you've been alive. If he
We know each
did,
other.
if he did, he would have been alive.
I know I didn't go in the building because I didn't kill Dan. You know? I know that for a fact.
If you have no memory, how do you know you didn't go in the building?
You know, I'm reconstructing this, but I'm reconstructing this based upon what I know in my heart. And what I know in my heart is the reason why I have no memory is because I was stunned by the fact Dan was dead.
Yeah, right.
And I wouldn't have been stunned if I'd been in the building and shot him.
I didn't suggest that you did go in to shoot him. What I'm suggesting and asking
Okay.
is, did you just go in the building? And how would you know if you did?
I agree that, but he wasn't part of my focus that morning. My focus was on my story, getting it out.
Fucking story, man. There's no story.
And Dan is at work.
Woof.
You know, your wife doesn't drop in to see you at work just because she's driving by. You know,
Unless she has to pee. Unless she has to pee, right?
I did it for a specific purpose, which was just go to the bathroom.
See?
Right, so Ms. Brophy, would you agree that it's possible that you went into the OCI on the morning of June 2nd
Without knowing it.
to use the bathroom?
No, I wouldn't.
Impossible.
I would say it was impossible,
Even though
How?
even though I have no memory of it.
You see, that's a lie. She's looking at her lawyer. Look. She's looking at her lawyer. Look.
Where did you normally go to get Starbucks?
Could look at your lawyer because you know she's looking at the lawyer and say, objection. You know, get her off a little bit. She's not helping her.
In Midville, there's a Starbucks, as I drive down 217 that I can hop off on. If I was going to, Oregon,
You know, sometimes lawyers will object for the sake of objection to give their client enough time to think or to rethink what she's saying, or try to distract the prosecutor from continuing that question that's getting them in trouble. But her lawyer is not even objected. I would even object to her fucking her hand movement. Nancy, stop moving your hands. This is the whole idea. Good defense attorneys will do that. They will inject a little objection here and there just to help their client, get off the story or give them time to think if they're getting caught in a lie. But look at her, she left her out to dry.
Oregon City, Oregon City, if I was going to Oregon City, what I actually did was I didn't stop for Starbucks because there was a Starbucks in the Fred Meyers where I was going, so I would have gone there. If I was at home, there's a Starbucks on Beaverton Hillsdale Highway, right by Jesuit High School. There's a Starbucks on Hall where it intersects with, right across from Beaverton Mall.
Yeah, all right, shut the fuck up, all these Starbucks. All of a sudden you come out, fuck.
And I'm going to sit there and write, then I usually go to the one at 17th and,
Next to your house.
17th and Canyon, which is just the other side.
Other side of 26.
Right. No, the other side of 217.
Other side of 270 from your house. Okay, so have you taken a look at your bank records?
I have not.
Look how smart he is.
Preparation for this trial, you haven't seen your bank records?
Well, I saw them months and months ago.
Look how smart, look.
You've heard testimony that you go to Starbucks quite a bit.
I do.
I think somebody said almost $1,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah, I was shocked by that figure.
I think we all would be.
See how you gotta watch.
But there's no charge for Starbucks in the morning.
Gotcha!
Yes, but if you go to my bank record,
He got out to boast. Oh yeah, I spend about $1,000 a year on coffee with my credit card. Yeah, but at that day when your husband was killed, how come you didn't use your credit card, your debit card, or your credit card? You understand? You see how smart he is? That's how you get these fucking idiots. Small lies. Small lies will get these idiots convicted. As long as you catch them with these small lies that they did and said when they held them to the story, you get the jury on your side. I'm not a lawyer, but I love to watch these shows, man. I'm gonna show you a lot of stuff. I don't know how many people are gonna follow this channel, but the reason is I'm trying to get another YouTube channel connected because I want to have a record of these shows. Because Switch, what's it called? Switch. Why am I calling this Switch? Memory's fucking shot. I don't know what channel I'm on. Twix. I don't know.
record, you will see there's no charge.
Twitch, yeah, Twitch.
When I know that I had coffee. If I had cash, I would have paid cash. Keep in mind that I don't have my purse with me because I'm not carrying a purse. I'm not wearing a bra, so I don't have a credit card with me. I don't have.
You know why she's saying that? That means if she didn't have a purse and she didn't even have on her bra, where she could carry the gun? Because remember earlier he asked her if you carry purses or not. She says no. The whole idea was when the question comes here, she's thinking ahead of him. When the question comes in, how did you spend money? Oh, I didn't have it. Because if she had her purse, she has to carry a gun and shoot her husband. So she says she had nothing on. This is all, she's setting this shit up.
My phone with me, so I would have had cash and just given it to him.
It makes more sense if you have cash over a card.
It makes more sense if I don't have a bra than I don't have a card with me.
And you do agree you left your phone at home that morning.
I agree I wasn't wearing a bra, so my phone would have been my bra.
See?
Right. So you're just this day is the day that you paid cash at Starbucks.
I pay cash at Starbucks a fair amount.
So in the morning, if Dan does bring you coffee, it would be normal for you to get up, not fully get dressed, run to Starbucks, use cash, use card, who cares, right? Go back home and write.
Mm-hmm.
That was normal.
That would be a normal morning.
Okay.
On a day when I wasn't committed to doing something else.
Right. But on June 2nd, now you're saying that morning You got it. Well, let's take a step.
Okay?
The night before, your
Okay.
testimony was that you went to sleep late, or went to bed late.
Mhm.
And when you went to bed, you went up to that attic bedroom,
Yes,
and Dan was already in bed,
yes,
and he was asleep.
yes.
And the reason you went to bed late was because of a leak? Is that
No.
the reason you went to bed late, or it just happened to be?
No, I frequently went to bed much later than Dan.
I see.
Dan went to bed early because he got up early.
Okay. What time did he go to bed at?
I don't know.
Okay. What time did you go to bed?
I don't know that.
Well, you said it was late. What's your reference?
Well, it was later than Dan. My reference point was that there was water on the floor.
Okay.
And the water on the floor, I was trying to clean it up enough that, we didn't set it in the middle of the night and didn't make it worse.
And which sink are you talking about?
The sink in the bathroom upstairs. So my bedroom is long and narrow. And
Why the fuck she use her hands?
To the left is the
Get
bathroom.
those fucking old hands away.
As I sat in there, we go from carpeting to sheet goods, and I could feel the water under my
So-
feet.
So if you're watching, you'll probably say, why the fuck is he asking about what sink it was? Because she already told the police what sink it was. He wants to know if she remembers what she said to the police. Remember, she's been locked into a story in the beginning of the case. So she has to work within that framework. She can't get out. Like when she said she never handled a gun, it was ugly, big and ugly, she threw it in the closet. She admitted on the stand that she touched it, she opened it, and she even admitted that she put on the side barrel, took it on and off. So she admitted a lot that she didn't admit to the police. So she came out of her shell, or the narrative of her original story. Her original story was, I never touched a gun. I just threw it in the closet. It was heavy and it was ugly. Then she did, all of a sudden she remembers, taking it apart, putting it back together, and she broke 2 nails. She gave us that story. This is what it is. That's why they ask sometimes stupid questions, because they're trying to get you, remember, in those small lies. If you catch them in the small lies, you're going to get the jury on your side. Because as a jury, if she's lying about that, imagine what else she's lying about.
I think it was just a little confusing. There was some testimony about a problem with the kitchen sink, but you're not talking about the kitchen sink.
No, and I thought that was not,
See, she remembers
it
more.
was confusing, but I also thought at that point I was probably making a point rather than pointing to the right thing, just.
See what she did?
Okay, fair enough.
Saw that?
I just want to make sure we're talking about the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wasn't clear on that. So you're talking about the sink with the leak that was of concern on June 1st was in the bathroom upstairs? Okay. So you kind of clean it up, you go to bed late. It sounds like maybe you woke up at some point in the night?
I wake up every night in the middle of the night.
Do you have a specific recollection of waking up in the middle of the night?
No.
Okay. And by that, you mean like you have to use the restroom or something?
Or, I really don't sleep very well at all, and I particularly don't sleep when I'm wound up. And when I'm working on a story, I'm wound up. So I'm just not a great sleeper anymore.
So when you wake up, was Dan already up?
Yes, Dan was standing over the sink in the bathroom.
And what was he doing?
He said, why do we have all these towels in the sink? And so that was, what we talked about was the fact that I think there's a leak.
He's
But I couldn't feel it, on the, whatever that long pipe's called,
That's another lie. She told the police she didn't see Dan that day. When she went out, Dan was downstairs taking a shower, whatever he is, that she never saw him physically or through her eyes. So that's another lie. He just caught her in. You understand? You're gonna find out later if you're paying attention to this testimony. See, he's getting her in the small lies, small increments, until he builds up. He makes her look horrible without really making her look horrible.
he said, well, I'll get something, he said, I'll get something, or maybe I know he got something because I saw it. I'm not sure which way this is the truth here. But when I
See?
there was a white bucket underneath. But the last thing I saw him doing was taking the wet towels down the stairs.
That's the last time you saw him? Talked about a lady, he walked downstairs with some wet towels. You stayed in bed.
Oh, no. This is where I got up and threw on a minimum amount of clothes and ran to get coffee.
I thought your testimony was you don't remember going to get coffee.
I don't remember going to get
See?
coffee, but I do remember throwing on some clothes and leaving the house.
That wasn't your testimony yesterday.
That I didn't throw on clothes and leave
You
the
said you got
house?
dressed. You said you didn't have any recollection of leaving to go get coffee.
Well, I think we're splitting hairs here. I don't remember getting coffee.
Agree to disagree on that, but okay. Go
Okay.
ahead. Which is it? Do you remember going to get coffee or did?
I do not remember getting coffee. I remember putting on clothes and heading downstairs. That's almost always a prelude to I'm going to get coffee.
So she remembers put on the clothes.
Oh, no. Dan would have been there for quite a bit longer. I was expecting to get coffee and be back before he was out of the shower and dressed and everything else, you know.
Do you see him?
No, he's in the basement. He took the wet towels down.
So he's still there, but you didn't see him.
He's still there.
So now you remember, you went downstairs, you got dressed, you went downstairs.
Okay, and I have a real problem with this, and I have to apologize to you, because what I do is I reconstruct based upon what I know would have happened, not what actually happened. So allow me to apologize for the fact that I am misleading you.
If you don't have no memory, how come you remember him going to the basement and taking all these towels all of a sudden? You remember all these small details, but you can't remember you were gone for a whole hour. See what the story is here? You gotta learn here, man. Don't go to those political bullshit, man. Leave the fucking right and left alone. Red, white, and blue. Fuck that shit. No, excuse me. The red state, blue state, fucking bullshit. Slave state. Come on, man. I'm getting tired, man. I'm getting sick of that, man. People hating each other for no reason.
And that was not intentional. What I would tell you is, I don't remember running into Dan, but if I would have, I think I would have remembered. He's downstairs, I'm assuming, dealing with the towels. I'm assuming that most mornings I'm right back in bed before he ever leaves.
Okay, so what time did you leave?
I have no idea.
What time did you get back?
I have no idea. What I know is the last time somebody saw me was I was in a video at 7:28.
Yeah, after she killed him.
Right. So that morning, you wake up, you get dressed, you go downstairs, you leave, you don't have any recollection as to where you went,
No.
and you don't know how long you were gone.
I know from your, okay, memory, no.
You have no idea how long you were gone.
No, I have none.
You know now that your phone was not with you.
Yes,
When you got back, was Dan still there?
no. But.
Dan is dead.
Once again, I'm filling in for lanes. I don't know that Dan was there or not there. What I remember is that I was sitting in bed writing with Maxine Hall. There's a huge little blank in there.
I know you jumped ahead with your lawyer. We're going to go slower.
Okay.
So you assume you go get coffee,
Mm-hmm.
get home. You don't know if Dan's still there or not.
I don't remember if Dan's still there or
You don't
not.
remember. You do remember some point you're back in bed.
Yes, because Maxine called and I was in bed writing.
And what time was that?
Fucking Ryan, man. This.
Remember that? Either Maxine called, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there?
Sure. You remember that?
I remember Maxine calling.
And you remember what she told you?
I do.
You remember how you responded?
Yes,
And then you remember calling Dan?
yes,
You remember trying to text Dan?
yes,
You remember him not answering or responding to your text?
I do.
She's building a.
Then called Maxine Borching back.
Right?
She's calling her husband, leaving messages or text messages. And this is what killers usually do. They try to build an alibi. Look, if I knew he was dead, why am I texting him? If I knew he was dead, why am I trying to get in contact with him? The problem is, did you text him in the last 10, 20 days or 6 months before that? So the whole issue is they try to build this alibi. You can't fool the police these days. You cannot fool the police. No more. Those days are over. Don't you notice there's not a lot of mafia hits, a lot of stuff like that? Because all these cameras all over the place. They can't do it no more. So these cameras have made people safer. Like when you go to a grocery store, there's a camera outside and inside. So these cameras are recording everything that everybody moves. So if there's a killing that happens like 3 or 4 blocks, they're going to look at the cars that came and left, and they went back and see, and then zoom in into those cars. So you can't do that no more, man. Good.
Right?
You remember that conversation?
Right?
You got the phone with her. You called Karen Brophy.
Right?
You remember that conversation?
I do.
You remember after that you got dressed.
You see what he's doing, right? You got a call. You remember that? Yes. You remember talking to this person? Yes. You remember what she's? Yes. He's trying to build. How do you remember everything else but cannot remember driving around for a whole hour? And what took you so long for get out at 6:30 to 7:28 to get coffee? 1 hour to get coffee? So it doesn't make any sense. It's falling apart. She's not fooling anybody. She's just getting her day on the stand to feel important. She thinks, because she's been like this all her life, she's been able to convince her kids, her husband with lies and everything, fool everybody. But you're naked right now. It's like the emperor without no clothes. They all know he's taking off your clothes piece by piece.
Yes? Well, yes, yes.
got your phone,
grabbed all my stuff.
your stuff, in downtown? Drove downtown?
Mm-hmm.
And when you drove downtown, did you take the normal way that you would drive when you were going to the Culinary Institute?
I'm going to say that technically, I don't really remember, but based on one habit, I would have bet money on it.
Okay. So the same road that we see you coming in on Jefferson earlier in the morning, that's the route that you most likely would have taken?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you came in, when you get to that roundabout, did you go down Columbia and turn on 17th?
Yeah, fuck, with their hands.
Yes, and I parked at Potluck in the Park.
What's this porn you show with their hands? This tells you parked all night. Oh,
Tricky here, I want to show you a map.
see? Fucking idiots, man.
Showing you what's,
I gotta go to the bathroom real bad.
I talked about the roundabout.
So how do I do this, man?
You come down to 17 and park on this corner right here.
I didn't park on the corner, I parked right there, yes.
There's like a few spots there.
Well, there's a delivery driveway, and I don't think they think they're spots. I just created a spot.
So you didn't come in, drive around Lincoln, and come up Jefferson, right?
If we're talking about, after Maxine called, well, the video shows I'm down there another time.
Point in the morning where you talked to Maxine, you talked to.
Right, and so I would have gone exactly the way you showed and parked in Potluck in the Park.
You came down here, turned on 17, parked somewhere in here.
Right,
Potluck in the park.
right.
Okay. And then where did you walk to from there?
Can I use the pointer?
Yes, please.
All right, so there was a police tape. Sorry. There was a police tape ran from this corner right here across the street so that you could not turn either onto 17 or continue on. Right in the middle of the street was a police car. I walked from here to the police car.
Okay. And you said you interacted with a police officer at that point?
Yes.
A male police officer?
Yes.
And he directed you to go somewhere?
I said, I'm Nancy Brophy, and he said, wait here. And he said, I want you to wait over there by that building, which that building was the corner of, directly opposite of.
Here go with their hands again.
And I went and stood over there, and he brought other officers.
Okay. Is that when Officer Wells came and gave you a hug?
When Officer Wells gave me a hug, we had walked in the corner.
They were hugging her. They were thinking she was a victim. You know, her husband just died, got killed. He's 64 years old. These two old people, they just lost each other. She just lost somebody that she loves. You know, the police, they're doing the normal stuff. They don't know she's the fucking murderer herself.
From the press.
Evil. Woo!
And I'm crying.
Evil.
That's when Officer Wells gave me a hug.
Okay. And did she tell you anything?
She told me she would like to be married to a chef.
Okay. Did she tell you anything else?
I didn't.
You can recall.
Okay. And did you speak with the TIPS volunteer before you went into the van or after?
I did not speak with her before.
Okay.
And I was in the van and they escorted her in.
You recall seeing Brian Wilkie and,
Yes?
okay, where was he?
They were across Madison and there was
me.
Brian Wilkie
God.
and I know Woody Bailey was with him. There were 2 or 3 other people who were kind of all standing together over here.
And you recall when the detectives walked up to you and said they wanted to speak with you in the van?
It was in that period of time.
And you remember getting in the van?
Yes?
You remember where the detectives sat?
Yes?
You remember having a conversation recorded with them?
Yes?
You don't necessarily remember all the conversation?
I would tell you, Spotty, that I've heard that tape enough that I can tell you what was on the tape.
Is there anything inaccurate that you were reporting to the police?
Not intentionally.
Not what I asked.
When the police said to me, where were you this morning? I told them where I was. And I told them where I was based upon the fact that when Maxine called me, that's where I was.
In fact, what you told the police were you were in bed,
Okay?
you woke up and Dan came upstairs.
Yes?
See?
That he
Remember what I told you what the police do? When they suspect everybody, especially if the husband got killed or the wife, they usually go straight to the husband to the wife. Because sometimes you have like this one, like other issues and problems. So what they do is, as soon as she got in there, they put her in that van, they started recording her. Not video, just recording everything she's saying. And they locked her into the story the first couple of minutes because she's trying to be helpful and she's making up. She even said to the gun that shooter thing. She didn't even want to call it a gun like she's some idiot. And she's got like 3 pieces at home of guns that she's been studying for the last 6 months. Let me get this candy out of my mouth. So right now they get her in a van. They get her, locked into a store. After that, she cannot get out. That's it. She got, that story is around her neck. It's either going to get her out of jail or it's going to bury her. That's it.
Came upstairs to take a shower.
Yes.
Then, after you got out of the shower, you two discussed the leak.
What the?
After the shower, I
Well,
didn't-
maybe, I don't know that you specified exactly when, but,
Well, we're on veracity here, so we need to be accurate.
well, you tell me.
I don't think I told him it was after the shower.
Okay, was it before?
I didn't. I think my memory is that I don't remember if he'd taken a shower or not. That's why I'm surprised you said that.
Okay, and you told the police that.
It could have been.
Well, you said you heard the tape.
I've heard the
Okay,
tape.
you told them that you took a shower, sorry, that Mr. Brophy took a shower.
I think I told him he came upstairs to take a shower. I don't think I told him he took a shower.
Remember she said he took the towels or taking a shower in the basement, remember?
No. But I may have said,
You said that he left at 7:05 to 7:10. Remember that?
yes, but that was based upon when he always left.
Okay. But you just testified to something completely different.
See?
Here's the thing, is that, no, I'm still on the same thing.
She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. Nancy is
I
lying.
didn't think this whole thing had a damn thing.
Nancy is
It
lying.
had to do with, what was Dan doing? What can you do? What can you tell us to help us so we know what this routine is?
So was what you told the police inaccurate?
It could have been, but at that point I was screaming in my brain, Dan is dead, Dan is dead. And if I was inaccurate, it was not to mislead.
You remember going into quite a bit of detail with
Sarah.
detectives, even regarding Dan's accident prior week and cut his hand?
I could have, yes.
Heard that on the tape, though?
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at your lawyer. Look back. Nobody's going to save you.
Heard the testimony. You would agree that the critical moments that you've been asked about, your responses have been you don't remember.
See?
Critical moments when I have been asked.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that's important, you remember. You remember everything except the things that are important.
Right, the critical moments that you were there, narrate. At the same time that someone happens to be shooting your husband within a 6-minute window with the exact type of gun that you own and is now mysteriously missing.
That's your version of what happened. That is not my version. The only thing I know for sure is I did not kill Dan. And I have no problem with that. I know I didn't kill Dan with the gun that was put together, the gun that wasn't put together, or the slide that we can't find. But, when your husband dies, everything around you grinds to a halt.
Yeah,
I
right.
told the police said, this is a death notification. But it wasn't a death notification, it was an in-depth interview. As seen by the fact
See?
that we're up every moment of it as we're coming
In-depth interview.
And in the death notification, they would have said, we can see you're upset, let us schedule an appointment, let us come back and see you this afternoon, let us do something different. Instead, they hammered away with questions.
Yeah, lock her in. You have to lock her in right
I
away.
tried to help them the absolute best I could.
See?
I tried to give them.
That's what the police do. They gotta lock you into a story right away before you have some time to think about it or to start to make this story. They lock you in because it's hard for you to make up shit as it happens. You understand? Then she spent the whole time trying to get out of what she said to the police now. Every time you catch her, she said, oh, I don't remember. I was just writing,
What I knew was his routine. I tried to help them in any way I could. And the fact that you have managed to construct a case against me out of that is you've constructed a case. But I think your case is held together with, real frankly, Band-Aids.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think I'm done. Probably more than I want to be.
Isn't it possible with your memory?
What the fuck was that? Is that what you did on mom?
You went into the building, shot your husband, and you just don't remember.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Because the one thing I knew, I had a strong thing, is the last time I saw Dan. I see Dan every day. I talk to him every day. This is not a man I would have shot because I had a memory issue. It seems to me like if I had shot him, I would know every detail.
Yes, you did. You shot him.
I did not shoot my husband, and I don't know even how to defend myself against the truth,
So, you heard that? She said, I don't even know how to, let's hear that, I don't even know how to defend myself from the truth. You see how sometimes you speak without really knowing? Let's look at that again. Let's hear it. Let me see this. Go back a little bit. Okay? Listen carefully.
Case, but I think your case is held together with, real frankly, Band-Aids.
Watch.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Probably more than I want to be.
Okay.
Is it possible with your
What the hell was that? You saw that?
that you actually went into the building and shot your husband and you just don't remember?
No, it is not. No, it is
Listen.
not. This is one thing I knew. I had a strong thing. It was the last time I saw Dan. I see Dan every day. I talk to him every day.
Okay.
He's not a man I would have shot because I had a memory issue. It seems to me like if I had shot him, I would know every detail.
All right.
You know, I could have told you all sorts of things.
There she goes.
I did not shoot my husband, and I don't know even how to defend myself against the truth. You know?
She doesn't know how to defend herself against the truth. You see, when you speak without really thinking,
We've talked a lot about Dan. Talked about the devastation to his family,
Yes?
to the community.
fucking witch, man.
You've seen the devastation in person, right? Multiple times, over and over.
Yeah.
All the people reaching out to you, the memorials, and the testimony in court.
Yes.
You would agree that up until the time that you took the stand, you didn't really show a lot of emotion in this trial.
No, I wouldn't agree with that at all. The fact that I didn't cry doesn't mean that I didn't show emotion or that I didn't have emotion. It's mean I didn't do the overt thing. What I would tell you is, it wouldn't have mattered if I cried or not, because if I had cried, you would be sitting here saying to me, do you agree that you were overly dramatic? So I don't think there's a win-win in this conversation for me.
That you chose to take the stand,
I chose to take the stand,
explain your side of the story.
tell my side of the story, which I might point out, I've been absolutely quiet about from the day Dan died to now. I have not had press interviews, I have not done any of the things that, where I could have told my story earlier.
Okay? When I talk about emotion, or lack thereof, while you're sitting over there at council table listening to testimony, you agree that you actually laughed on quite a few occasions, is that right?
The fact that when I think about Dan, it still gives me joy. I do laugh.
Oh.
I love people to come up and say.
Hey, the fake emotion, the fake emotion. Here we go.
My teacher, I loved him, and I said, tell me stories about him, because that gives me joy. You know, yes, I find that, you know, am I brokenhearted? I'm brokenhearted. Am I delighted to hear stories from people who loved him as much as I did? Yeah, I am.
Stories make you emotional as well.
Talking about Dan, period, makes me emotional.
Yeah, you fucked
A
up.
lot of people who cried, who came up and cried, when they weren't crying for Dan, they
You think she got a girlfriend in
I
jail?
had a horrible experience happen to me. I'm crying.
She's like the mother to her in jail. She's like, she's a smart one.
Because I knew she loved him as much as I did. And I knew that she was crying for Dan, not for some other reason.
What about the students that knew Dan and loved him?
The students that knew Dan and loved him didn't testify earlier. Who testified a lot earlier was the instructor, 2 or 3 of them.
All that emotion is gone in 2 seconds.
And I am grateful to them for the fact they did what they could do. Do not misunderstand me. But I don't think it changed their life. They went back to school the next weekend. They graduated from the program. They weren't testifying. They had to have counseling as a result of this. I'm saying the people whose hearts were broken, the people who missed Dan much the most.
Shut up with that fake shit. Phony old
I cried with
fucking
them.
hag.
We know.
Fucking witch.
Did you just testify and say that the person who literally tried to save his life was not negatively affected by this?
No, I said she went on with her life. That she didn't. I did not say that. She had a horrible experience. I said I was empathetic to that experience.
Okay.
But I also know that she wasn't crying the day in court because of that. She was crying because she had had a terrible experience and it affected her with bad memories. But it did not stop her life. Her life went on. Her life. She went back to school. She graduated with the program.
Yeah.
You know, it stopped my life. It's
And you're in fucking jail for killing your husband. That's the problem with you. You fucked up.
stopped the Brophy's life. There were students he had whose life had stopped, and coworkers he had who were truly, truly.
That's why you learned to press.
I did, and I've heard it 3 times now. The first time she told me, I cried, because she told me in person. Every time she's been on the stand, Clorinda Perez has sobbed and sobbed, and I am sympathetic every time she does it. I know she went through a terrible experience, but she's not crying for Dan. She's crying for the terrible experience she had.
You mentioned that. I'm asking about your feelings.
Okay, let me ask the question again, please.
You listened to Clorinda Perez testify about her experience.
Right?
How she saw Dan on the ground. She knew CPR. She took it upon herself to try to save his life
Yes,
and failed.
yes,
She felt that.
yes.
You saw her tell that story on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely devastated about that experience.
No, I disagree with you entirely on that. I think she had a terrible experience. I think that it was a bone-jarring experience for her. I think she did everything she could, and she was proud of the fact, and I was proud for her that she did everything she could. But when she's crying 5 years after the fact because it was a terrible experience, I think she's crying for the fact she had a horrible experience, not for the fact that Dan Brophy, a man she barely knew, died.
Keep mentioning that. We're going to play what's marked as State's Exhibit 116.
She's looking at our lawyer. Look at that. She put her eyebrow on that fucking phony witch. The jury sees that. She's a fucking idiot. You saw how she did her eyes and the eyebrow to the lawyer? Like, how am I doing good? How am I doing here? And the lady's going, you're doing good, kid. You're fucking yourself up. You're doing good, kid.
Voice.
So far, they haven't covered anything.
Who does that sound like?
Well, I'm also looking where it says called here Sarah Gitchell, so I'm assuming that's Sarah Gitchell.
Who's the voice that you hear?
Yes.
خلص والله.
That's my voice.
That's your voice?
Yes.
This is a phone call that you made to Sarah Mitchell?
Could be, yes. That's what it says.
Okay. Come on, we go ahead and play that.
So far, they haven't covered anything that we didn't know. I mean, they had all these little girls who cried today, you know, and I've seen all these little girls. Well, I've seen particularly the Spanish girl cry 3 times now.
Spanish girl.
Cried off cue.
Fucking racist. Racism! She's Spanish!
Essentially that.
That's your response after hearing these people testify to their experience. That's what you thought about that?
I thought it was interesting that Corinda Perez, when she told me, did not cry. When she's on the stand, she cries and she sobs and she carries on. I think she has a terrible, terrible experience. That I totally agree with. And I'm sympathetic to that.
I got
also think
fucking
she
pee,
didn't
man.
cry on cue when she gets on stand. Because she didn't cry when she told me. She told me and I cried, you know, when we went to an event.
All right, we still got about 20 minutes of this. I'm going to come back and we're going to finish it, okay?
You know, when she told me the
Okay,
story.
let me shut up. I got 20 minutes of this. Let me put this. I had, wow, I look so beautiful. I'll be back, right? Like I gotta do some, I gotta go to the bathroom and I gotta do some stuff. I'll be back. We got only like 20 minutes of this idiot, and then we're gonna listen tomorrow to the closing argument. All right, I'll be back. I'll be back again. I'll be back again. And my stream.